Myles Garrett, his body. OBJ looks good, too. You like him with that haircut, right?
I think he is.
Oh, yeah.
I like the look. I like the look.
Okay.
He's a cutie.
Okay.
Stories to start your morning. Browns taking on the Jets. Monday Night Football. Here we go. Odell, the cutie. Clear-cut star last night. Finished with 6 catches, 161 yards, and a career-long 89-yard touchdown. Browns win 23-3 over the Jets. All right, CC, how impressive was OBJ last night?
Very impressive. I talked to him before the game. He was ready. He was looking forward to it. I mean, he likes playing in Giants Stadium. Of course, that was the home turf there of the Giants. But I felt like he was going to play good. They've had a DB problem there with the Jets, so I thought he would have the big game. It was nice that he was able to get the big touchdown late to be able to finish it off. But he's looking to have a spectacular season. Told him he's in the right place. You know, the watch thing. I told him, don't wear a watch, man, unless you're going to wear one for $1 million.
So he wore one for $2 million. But he didn't wear it during the game. And by the way, there were a couple things in this game that I think previously might have derailed Odell mentally. Where right after he makes this big play, the refs make him go off the field in the red zone on a key third down when the game is it's 0-0. Game's still in the balance. He was upset for a moment, then gathered himself. And right here, after Greg Williams did the Odell Who stuff, and there was that back and forth this week, he didn't do anything towards the sideline. He didn't make any pointed gestures to where that is controversial today, overshadowing how brilliant he was. He reminded the whole world why some people say he's the best receiver in the NFL.
On to the Steelers now. Ben Roethlisberger will undergo season-ending elbow surgery. Big Ben vowed in a statement to, quote, come back stronger than ever next season. Chris, what does the future hold for Roethlisberger?
Oh, I believe he's going to make a comeback. The dude's got heart, and he has shown that throughout his career. This is a hurdle, but that's what the greatest athletes do. He's one of the most talented quarterbacks that's ever played the position. Tremendous athlete. People would talk about, well, he's not a hard worker and everything. He's gifted. And every once in a while, we have people that come along. They don't have the most tremendous work ethic as far as preparation. Now, the mentals, the X's and O's, he's got that. But no, he's not Drew Brees. He's not Tom Brady. But he's a lot better athlete than them. I expect him to overcome this injury.
It's good for the Steelers, I suppose, that he's saying he's coming back and he's going to try to come back full strength. I happen to think that we're going to look back and say the last playoff game Ben Roethlisberger ever played in was that shocking defeat at the hand of Blake Bortles and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sometimes it happens real quick. And this is one of the reasons why guys can list the missed opportunities, because that year as a whole was a missed opportunity for the Steelers. I wonder if they'll ever be on the precipice of a championship again with him as the quarterback.
When do we see Big Ben in the body issue? In Sunday's loss to the Rams. The surgery would sideline him approximately 6 weeks, but Sean Payton says Brees will seek a second opinion. Nick, assuming Brees is out for an extended period of time, how does this Saints offense change? Because the assumption is it's going to have to. Teddy Bridgewater is a different quarterback than Drew Brees.
Well, exactly right. And even if Teddy is the best backup quarterback in football, that would mean he's what, better than 5 or 6 starting quarterbacks, so around 25th, 26th best quarterback in football at a minimum. And Chris can expand on probably far better than I can about the X's and O's about how the offense will change, the different type of routes they're going to have to run, the different types of protections, because even though Drew Brees is not known as the strongest arm quarterback in football, he has a stronger arm than Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater, the reason you could have the efficiency he had at Louisville and be the last pick of the first round, the reason people could question if you were going to be a first-round pick after that great college career, it's because he's got something of a pop gun arm. And that's before he dealt with the devastating leg injury and everything that's gone on since then.
And the pop gun arm is?
A very weak arm. Okay. I mean, just instead of a bazooka arm or whatever, a pop gun.
Compared to a shotgun.
Exactly.
And 9 millimeters.
Know my gun.
No problem. And so, but I do want to, for the Saints, because there has been an element of, I think, overdone optimism about them dealing with no Brees because everyone likes Teddy and everyone's rooting for Teddy. And so the point I want to make is this. If they went from Drew Brees to Matt Ryan, they'd be what, 1 or 2 wins worse? And if they went from Drew Brees to Matt Stafford, they'd be 3 or 4 wins worse? And if they went from Drew Brees to Derek Carr, they'd be what, 4 or 5 wins worse? So Drew Brees to Teddy Bridgewater, who is he on that scale? Is he Derek Carr? Probably not. Maybe at best. So even if you replace Brees with a guy that we know is a good starting quarterback in this league, like a Matt Ryan, Your team is going to be worse. Can they tread water? Can they survive? Probably. But see, they're going to have to drastically change the way Sean Payton calls these games, right?
I think in answering that, could you also sort of give the audience an idea of what makes Teddy Bridgewater special? It's been a number of years since we've actually seen him be a starter and shine.
Yes.
Who knows if he still has, but why is he such a great quarterback? Why was he such a great quarterback?
Teddy's always been a great leader. He's from Miami area. We played against him in high school. He's always been a guy that kids look to. He always does the right things, says the right things. He leaves South Florida because in his recruitment, he wasn't a 5-star. And there were better prospects out there. Guys had better bodies than him, guys that had bigger arms than him. That's why he goes to Louisville. He's got a good career there. And then he started going through, man, is this guy good enough to be a franchise quarterback? The Vikings took him. He ends up winning that starting job eventually. But the way that team was built, that was Adrian Peterson's team.
Yes.
Those were some of the greatest years we ever seen a running back take a franchise on its back. And I'm talking about carry them. Teddy should have on his resume a playoff win, but the kicker blew a short kick. If he had that on his resume, I think people would look at things different. But we can't make things up just because we like people. Now, you mentioned all those other quarterbacks. What would they be? We don't know what they would be with Sean Payton because Drew Brees wouldn't be Drew Brees without the Sean Payton in everything. So anytime that we would take who I call the most accurate quarterback, and also the football statisticians say the most accurate quarterback, who wouldn't be a drop-off? I mean, besides Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, everyone be a drop-off. Everyone, every formula you did be like, well, that guy's... Drew Brees, his greatness is his anticipation, him knowing every defensive look and being in the system. Teddy does not have the same anticipation, doesn't have the same arm strength. So Sean Payton, we're relying on his genius to be able to create. He's got to change this offense. They got to be more run-oriented, and when they want to throw the ball deep, man, they have to be more play action, and they have to run double moves on the outside because Teddy doesn't have the type of arm strength that can just pierce defenses, throw down the seam, throw down the rails and everything. So it becomes very important with the creativity. We're going to see with Sean Payton, what kind of team does he create? Because what they used to run, it is not Teddy's sweet spot. But I believe that Sean, being a former quarterback, he will cater to Teddy's strengths and will create some things that Teddy can be playing and can play at a high level, the highest level his ability can play at.
And listen, let's say that the doctors are right and he's going to miss 6 games. After the 6 games from now, they have a bye, so you could give him essentially 7+ weeks. Those 6 games are at Seattle, home for Dallas, home for Tampa, at Jacksonville, at Chicago, home for Arizona. You can say, all right, they can go 3-3. And they could. You beat Tampa, you beat Jacksonville, you beat Arizona. There's a path to 3-3 right there. At 4-4, with Brees coming back, is your season over? Absolutely not. Your season's not over. And in that division, where Carolina hasn't won yet, where Tampa's 1-1, Atlanta's 1-1, yeah, you could say 4-4 still be alive for the division. But the Saints this year, the goal, of course, and the realistic goal was going to the Super Bowl. And they have only been, since as great as Brees and Payton have been, since they've been together, they've only been to the conference championship, forget the Super Bowl, conference championship 3 times. All 3 of those seasons, they had a bye. All 3 of those seasons, they had either the 1 or the 2 seed and home field advantage, either all the way through the playoffs or the 2nd seed in the conference. At 4-4, you're not getting to a bye. And so now all of a sudden their path would be 3 playoff games, going on the road, some things they don't have a history of success of in New Orleans as far as going on deep playoff runs.
The Saints are very fortunate over the last several years. They are one of the few franchises that, yes, they do have Super Bowl aspirations. But Super Bowl aspirations don't come with other minor goals along the way. Yes, you'd love to have the bye. No one calculates that in there, though, Nick. Everyone says, we got to make the playoffs. Well, if I have to make it as a wild card, okay, we have seen people take that route to the Super Bowl. So when Drew Brees comes back, their goals will still be on the table, and that's to get into tournament. That's either by wild card, by winning division, it does not matter. But Drew Brees can go in any stadium and be able to win. We have seen that, and they have the overall experience that would have them ready to take that next step, given what they faced in the playoffs the last 2 years.
I think it's funny that you said everyone in the organization is really, optimistic optimistic, and yet there's Sean Payton is like, well, let's get a second opinion.
Oh, well, yeah.
We might need a third or a fourth opinion. Wait, he's not done quite yet.
This guy's going to finish his career with first or second place in every major passing category. He's one of the all-time greatest players. Going to miss him for 6 weeks. Big deal.
All right, take a break. Coming up, did the Browns show everyone they are a playoff